Okay, so JJ Redick is the new head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, and I've enjoyed some of his podcast work. So I'm just going to review his play from his age 31 season, which I think the consensus is that someone's prime athletically is between the age of 28 and 32. I might have read that somewhere, but essentially, JJ was playing in the league for many years after his age 30 season, which is this game against the Spurs in the finals. So essentially, JJ's performing at his peak here, I think you could argue. So we're just going to evaluate his tape from that. All right. Everything working here? There I am. All right. So can we improve the resolution? Let's see if my internet can keep up with this. Okay, so he's keeping conscious of Danny Green, a really good shooter. Frankly, I think he's giving up far too much space. Danny Green isn't a threat from there. So I would like JJ to be sinking almost down to into the paint to guard against Kawhi, this action for Kawhi here. And I would like him to really disturb Parker's drive here because, again, Danny Green, even if he steps into a three, he's still a long way from the three-point line. So I just wouldn't consider Danny Green a threat at all here. Yeah, for me, a player's value can be seen in how much he helps the team defensively, and that means especially when his direct opponent doesn't have the ball. Okay, so he's the starting shooting guard here. Has an action, guarded by Kawhi, so that's a bit of a challenge. So he's just being used as spacing here. Got CP's an all-time great. Alright, so I really like a player who, essentially, if I was coaching a team, just no easy baskets, meaning everyone needs to understand that the easiest baskets are at the rim, and guarding against that is a priority. Worry about the three-point shot after guarding the rim properly. And so he does a good job there of both closing in on Splitter, the center, and then closing out. He's nice and grounded here. And his hips would essentially make it so that his opponent is incentivized to drive baseline where there's less space. So that's really good fundamentals, but he does close out perhaps a little bit too hard. Meaning Green can just completely drive past him. And unfortunately, Blake Griffin put up some good numbers, but from memory, some of the intangible aspects of his game were a bit lacking. And so, what happened here? Also, I think JJ, if he was really aware, he could have gotten a step on this pass because Parker's left his feet here, which means he has to pass it, right? And so if you see that really early, so Parker's left his feet here. If JJ had gotten a bit more of a step, understanding that Splitter isn't really a huge threat here. I know that you're probably going to criticize me for being a hypocrite by, you've got to guard the basket, but understanding where the biggest threats are, and Splitter's not a huge threat here. JJ gets out, could have gotten out and potentially picked off this pass because Parker left his feet. That's the danger of leaving your feet when you're passing. And JJ probably should have stopped about here rather than ending up where he was because Green just blows past. Blake probably pushes in too much to guard this drive and should have had his hand up to pick off the pass. I've never analysed Thiago's Splitter, but that was a beautiful pass for a centre. You see Blake just charging in mindlessly, and I think he had some injury issues. And often guys who get injured a lot, it's not just bad luck. Like it's got something to do with your play style, I think. So I'm just going to talk shit until I get a good grasp of JJ Redick's game. Also, I really love Matt Barnes. He was that piece that I think really drove the Clippers to more success. Again, closing out a bit too hard. What happened here? I got a coffee. Couldn't see what action happened there, but JJ gave up a bucket, which isn't always just the individual's fault. Ooh, see? Barnes getting up. He's a good media personality too. So JJ's very active defensively, so that's good to see. He's not just a sloth. See, again, I'd like JJ to be here at this point. And then that means also, if JJ's hiding around the paint here, that means if Parker sees Green open, JJ can pull a Jose Alvarado and kind of sneak behind these big bodies and actually pick off the pass. There's little sneaky things that you can do. Helping out in the boards a bit by getting low. He's just a bit too aggressive defensively, I think. Sometimes in basketball you just got to play a role and just be a distraction. And so standing out in the wing, not even expecting the ball, is just a role you have to play. Not everyone can be a superstar and be taking 30 shots a game like a Luka Doncic or James Harden. A lot of physicality there. Oh geez, he's aggressive with a shot. So he's confident in his shooting, in his shot, so much so that he's got Kawhi Leonard on his heels, and he does get it off, but clearly, like, what should JJ have done here when he gets the ball? He should have just picked up his dribble and kept driving in. If Splitter stays on Griffin, JJ's got to go up for the shot. If Splitter guards Redick's drive, dish it off to Blake. And of course, if Blake was a great shooter, then that would enhance his ability, wouldn't it? But instead, JJ settles for the shot and probably hoping for a foul because Kawhi's on his heels, but it's a complete brick. So I like his activity defensively. Could improve his positioning a bit, but look, that you love to see this, a guard coming down to guard the center. So that's outstanding team defense. Probably prefer him to stick on Splitter and really box the shit out of him, which not only would have an effect on improving the chance of a defensive rebound, but it just lets the guy know, the opponent know, that you're not going to get any easy offensive rebounds if you're just boxing out all the time. But I don't like to see guys just standing and watching when a shot goes up, because that's how you give away offensive rebounds. I love a lot of, like, what made these Spurs great is there was a lot of motion offensively, from my understanding. So I would like Redick to just, I don't give a shit about the set or any of that sort of stuff, which bores me a bit. And when I listen to JJ and LeBron's podcast, like, there's a lot of talk about X and O's, which is a tad boring to me. I think if you have good team concepts like Steve Kerr installed with the Warriors, allowed more free-flowing play, I think that's when the best basketball happens, and just relying on the talent of the individuals to make good stuff happen. I would have preferred JJ to have cut through here and create a lot of movement in the defense, which could have freed up a Barnes 3 or something like that, but he's sort of standing and watching a bit offensively there. See, look at that. No wonder Blake was getting hurt. More athlete than sense. So Redick coming off the screen. Prepared to set picks as a shooting guard. Love to see that. That's great footwork to free himself up. Shot was a bit... He probably could have taken a little bit more time, I guess, to ensure the shot was going to be accurate. But that's outstanding footwork to free himself up on the corner here. Good follow through, just wasn't quite balanced enough to make that shot. He was definitely an asset defensively just because of how active he is. He cares about winning. Sinking low. Helping out a bit on the defensive rebound. Attack. Yeah, there we go. He's got a big on him, so he's attacking. To me, he just doesn't seem that confident in his dribble. Like, we saw that shot earlier rather than driving once he caught it off the pick. He just doesn't seem that confident of a driver, or like he can finish at the rim. So he gets it. Ideally, you'd like CP to drift over here to allow JJ to attack Tim Duncan one-on-one. But to me, it's just like, if a stronger driver could have attacked this space and gotten past Parker and then either finish at the rim or dish off to DJ. But JJ's just not that confident with it and passes it off. Barnes had a weird hitch on his shot, but he could still make him. JJ's risking injury here, I think. This is a bit nitpicky, but I would personally just sag off of this because Danny Green isn't really that much of the threat of dribbling and shooting. He's more of a catch and shoot guy. See, JJ could have copped an elbow from Tim Duncan. Just, I don't like it when guys get close to opponents unnecessarily. Back when they actually let play go on, not just calling a foul every freaking 30 seconds so that you could have an ad break. See, that's just good, smart basketball, creating movement in the defense. But otherwise this offense is quite stagnant because DeAndre is just kind of standing there, understanding that offensively he's only a threat on lobs, right? Very limited skill set. I prefer JJ's eyes to be at the ball here, not just worrying about his man necessarily. Allowing a Danny Green behind him there, so Green could have just cut in and then posted up right under the rim, and Parker could have found Green if Green was a bit more smart moving off the ball. So I'm going to call it here. Based on this, I think JJ is probably he was worth the money that he was on. I feel like from memory it was like 10 mil a year or something. That's a fair enough paycheck for him. He could probably be your fourth or fifth best player on a championship team by virtue of his activity defensively. Clearly a threat as a shooter because we haven't actually seen it in this play, but we all know JJ Redick was an outstanding shooter. But could have had a bit more solid fundamentals defensively, guarding a guy one-on-one, and clearly not a threat dribbling the ball, which is an important aspect of play. But, I think he's a good personality, and he clearly knows his X's and O's because he talks about it a lot on his podcast. So looking forward to seeing how he transitioned to head coach of the LA Lakers. And, could he have gotten that role if he wasn't a media personality? So that just goes to show, like, you could be hustling in a pretty much entirely different field and good things can happen. So credit to him for that. So let me know what you think. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I've got a website here. I've got a sports page, gridiron stuff, basketball, my blog from when I was much younger, and more my basketball player evaluation resume, like picking out diamonds in the rough in drafts and things like that. Watch me get punched in the face. So, yeah. Have a good day.